Alright, I hope there is sound on this YouTube. Y'all hold on, let me check and see if it's sound on the YouTube. It's gonna pause, so hold on 1 second. Alright, let's see here. Yep. Oh my god. I'm not still live. Let me go back live again. So when I pick my passengers up, oh my god, that was loud. Alright, one moment. Oh, 123 on the timer. Alright, something is getting ready to manifest. Something is getting ready to manifest. My name is Ari, the Healing Empress, aka the Fly Goddess. Alright, and this is a collective read. And we're getting ready to see what's coming in for the full moon, alright, or what's going on for the full moon, and how is that going to affect you, alright? So we're going to see how this is going to affect you. I'm going to wait a few moments, alright? I'm going to get some more cards here. And we're going to see what is getting ready to happen when it comes to this full moon energy. Alright, my bad. Drop the live. Alright, so let's see what's going on in this read. Alright, to see what's coming in for the collective. This is a collective read, alright? If you are interested in a full moon read for yourself, please let me know, alright? They are 2020 at this time. If you catch me while I'm live, all right, and let me know that you want a full moon read, then they are 15. All right. If you know somebody who wants a read, let me know. All right, and then I'll give you one for free. All right. Once they book, whatever rate, whatever they pay for is whatever you'll get. All right. Let's see what's going on. All right. What's going on for the collective around for the full moon? All right. So counter offer. All right. So for there to be a counter offer, there has to be some sort of offer that's getting ready to come in. All right, it has to be some sort of offer that's coming in. General wealth is here. All right, and then you got the legacy and lasting impact. All right, so there's some sort of offer that's coming in that's bringing in general wealth. All right, underpaid. Your value is being minimized. All right. Yeah, you may feel, we was just talking about this, you may feel like you being underpaid. All right, shit. I do. I feel like I'm being underpaid. All right, I feel like I deserve more. All right, and Spirit is saying that there's an opportunity coming. All right, promotion. So something is upgrading in finances. Okay, that general wealth. All right, that generational wealth, recognition, elevation are near. Elevating, what's elevating? The money. Okay, the finances, the positions at jobs or the career that you hold, the interview, a conversation, or elevation phase. All right, so you're getting ready to come in contact with someone. All right, this is somebody that you could have been knowing. All right, slow money, financial growth is steady, not instant. All right, so I feel like somebody finally received. Right, it's an unexpected offer coming. Something is coming in suddenly. All right, something is coming in suddenly. I don't think you see this coming. All right, work politics. Be mindful of competition, growth, and agendas. All right, there's a second chance, an old expectation coming around. I said old expectation. You may, because why is that old expectation? All right, this card says second chance and old opportunity returns. All right, so old opportunity returns. This could have been something that you denied in the past, and now that offer is coming around again. All right, power play, ego. All right, so you could have denied it because of control, ego, or dominance issue. All right. So, which means that if this is the opportunity that's coming around that held this type of energy before, then it's going to be calm, all right, and understanding. Financial flow is here, financial blessing, unexpected support or provision. Somebody is getting ready to help you do something that you were trying to do, all right. I'm booked and busy. Demand is increasing. There's some sort of commitment that carries weight that's getting ready to start for you. All right, align. Yes, this opportunity is for you. Again, binding contract. All right, magnetic money. You are attracting abundance. All right, so you are attracting love and money at the same time. All right, let's see. Hidden clause. There's more that meets the eye. All right, so I feel like somebody is not, somebody is withholding something on purpose. All right, but I feel like it's more of a surprise than anything. All right, let's see. All right, red tape, bureaucracy, paperwork, slow system. All right, binding contracts. Okay, so I could have felt like it could have took this a long time to be put together. All right, it was some faulty things that had to be dealt with. All right, and now we have wealth builder, long term money and stability. All right, somebody could have been working on their money, their long term stability and collaboration opportunity. Somebody wants to work with you, partnership deal. This could be a relationship. All right, royal inheritance. This could be a relationship or this could be business related. All right, budget check. Watch your spending or your resources. Promotion pending. Like I said, you got an increase on money coming towards you. Recognition, elevation. Something's upgraded in your life. All right, financially, elevations are near, and whatever this is, this no, there's I can't even talk. There's a negotiation on the table. All right, terms can be changed. Nothing is set in stone. All right, luxury energy, high value living, quality, premium pricing. Like I said, the price is going up. All right, this proposal, it's an offer, a serious one is on the table and on the way. The invitation, you are being asked to participate or collaborate. I feel like somebody is, like I said, this is, I hear business, but I hear relationship too. I don't know, maybe there is a relationship that is going to be business like as well. All right, maybe you're going to have a business together. Next card came out, says multiple streams of income. All right, more than one opportunity is opening. All right, you were previously putting your resources into things that were draining. All right, you were putting your energy into things that were draining, and something is changing. Like I said, there's a counter offer here. All right, and there's strings attached. This person, it's almost like this person wants to help you out of something, but in actuality, this person wants a relationship. All right, but they're not forcing it on you. But they're not forcing it on you, but they gonna be doing everything to show you. All right, magnetic money. You are attracting abundance. All right, divine timing. Okay, so I'm hearing in the past it wasn't a denial. It was just a not yet. All right, like I said, slow money. Money could have been slow. It was steady, but it wasn't instant. It wasn't where it needed to be. All right, and you would have been underpaid. All right, your value would have been minimized. All right, instead it was like, nah, I need for something to happen first. 1001, the first shall be last, last shall be first. Somebody had to close out a cycle in order to have a wish fulfillment. Yeah, it's time to leave a draining environment. Somebody is leaving a draining environment. All right, and to me, that already is screaming. Somebody is coming your way. All right, a golden opportunity, a rare and valuable chance. That's you. That's you. You are the golden opportunity. You are a rare and valuable chance. There's nobody like you. You one in nine. Mm, that's crazy. My cards be hitting. All right, misaligned opportunity. Not every door open is for you. All right, you will have a lot of people interested at this time, but I believe you know who your divine masculine is. Most of you know who your divine masculine is. All right, so spirit wants you to know that all look, it's just like all money ain't good money. Secure the bag, take the opportunity seriously, and move wisely. So again, there's an opportunity coming your way. There's an opportunity coming your way. All right, spirit say use your discernment. All right, and there's strings attached. Believe that. All right. Let's see what it say. The resume presentation matters. Polish your image. All right, and when I'm hearing self loving on yourself. All right, just taking care of yourself as a woman, and for the man, taking care of yourself. You know, working on your skin routine, doing the shit that you normally would do. All right, staying ready so you ain't gotta get ready. The interview. It's crazy because it says the resume. My cards are so fire. Okay, so the first card says the resume, and the next one says the interview. All right, so whatever you apply for, bless you. Whatever you apply for, you are being heard, is what I'm hearing. All right, you are, and then the next card is workplace politics. Be mindful, competition, gossip, or agendas, meaning you got the job. Whatever it is that you were going for, just know that you got it. Spirit, you better talk. Oh my God. Okay, so the resume talks about the presentation matters. Polish your image. And that's what you've been doing. You've been working on yourself. All right, you've been working on yourself. You've been letting go of motherfuckers who you should not be fucking with. All right, and it has made your your energy more pure. You know what I'm saying? Since you don't have all those toxic ass people in your energy anymore. And then you got the interview, a conversation, or elevation phase. So these is when you can ask questions. You know, you ask questions in the interview. You know what I'm saying? You can negotiate as well within the interview. All right, and apparently whatever you're asking for isn't too unreasonable because you got workplace politics. It's like somebody's giving you the handbook for the job. They don't give you any of that until you got the job. All right. And the next card is promotion pending, meaning you got the job. All right. Now you pending for a promotion already, so you're moving. I feel like you're moving in a fast pace. All right. Recognition. All right. And elevation are near. It ain't nothing but elevation. Elevation phase, and elevation is here. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. What the hell was that? That just popped out. All right. I could have sworn something just popped out. All right. Recognition, visibility, praise, and being noticed. All right. And this is why this promotion is here because you are getting recognition. All right. False promise. Someone is overselling and misleading. All right. So be careful of people overselling themselves to you. All right. So that they can get in your good grace. Oh, I feel like it's 10 o'clock at night. All right, luxury energy. Something is getting ready to go very well. All right, high value, living quality, premium pricing. All right, so let me see. I'm gonna pull these room cards. I ain't used them in a while, so we gonna see. Make sure they all upright. Okay. Okay. Damn, these cards just throwing their damn selves. All right, let's see. Let's see. All right, what is this? The Four of Shields. All right, so the Four of Shields talks about hold on to the past. All right, hoard resources, power struggles, take a new position, defending your rights. All right, you had to defend who you like. Yo, you had to stand your ground. This is giving me stand your ground. All right, it's like you had to battle against external forces, not really yourself, but external. All right, let's see. And then you got the sun here, and that talks about wish fulfillment. Let's see, what is that? Let's see the sun. All right, so the sun talks about joy, success, renewal, exposure to good things. Take charge of your life. All right, so there's some good things that's getting ready to come. And then you got the chariot energy here as well. That's quick, fast energy. That's the fastest moving energy in the deck. All right, and that talks about choosing your destiny. Take a swift action. Arrive with a steady hand. Trust the path and seize the moments. All right, and then you got the Queen of Swords. All right, you are definitely protecting yourself. Definitely protecting yourself. All right, let's see. All right, the Queen of Swords talks about protecting your heart, cunning and quick-witted. Understand the logic of a situation spoken. All right, so understanding the logic of a situation. Let's see if I can pull a card for. Give me a card for the Queen of Swords. 10, 10 on the clock. All right, double completion. You and somebody both have completed a cycle, a very fucking toxic one. All right, where you have to use your discernment and you have to trust your gut. All right, and you have to learn what false promises was. All right, and what it looked like. All right, because somebody was overselling themselves and misleading. All right, and it was working because you weren't following your gut instinct. All right, and I'm gonna end this reading in a few minutes. All right, boss energy. There's boss energy here, leadership, authority, and entrepreneurship. All right, so it's a line, yes. This opportunity is for you. All right, so I'm just hearing it's your time, it's your season. All right, you planted a seed, and now something is getting ready to pay off. All right, this is an investment returning. All right, big fish, a major offer with a high reward. Again, like I said, the resume. Somebody has looked over something. All right, and somebody is choosing you. Secure the bag. Take the opportunity seriously and move wisely. All right, and that is your reading. I'm gonna go ahead and close the reading out over here on YouTube. If you are looking to purchase any reads, all right, all you have to do is inbox me. If not on this video, on the video before, you can look in the description, or if I'm not mistaken, I have it pinned in the comments. All right, um, my contact information, which is Mermaid Ariel, ARIEL 1983 at gmail.com. And that's mermaid spelled all the way out. Mermaid Ariel 1983 at gmail.com. All right, and we could talk about the readings there. If you follow me on social media, you can inbox me as well.